We're knights of the round table, we dance whenever we're able. We do routines, we call the scenes, the footwork impeccable. We dine well here in Camelot, we eat ham and jam and spam a lot.
Hello everyone, this is Devang, and welcome to the second episode in this series, Knights of the Round. This is the series where I play Zombicide Black Plague, going through all of the quests, and these are going to be using the characters, the heroes, the survivors, whichever you want to call them, that are the takeoffs of the Monty Python Knights of the Round Table from the Holy Grail. So we will see how those work. And so next up, I'm going to kind of go through the characters, skip over if you want, characters that I'm going to be playing and what they kind of some of the abilities they've got, and then we will get to the quest. So enjoy. So here we have our PCs. This is going to be the turn order we have. We're going to start with Gilbert in blue. And then we're going to go to Beauregard in green. Then we'll go to Montalban in orange. We're going to go to Mortimer in yellow. We'll have Bob, who's purple, and Chauncy, who is red. So, just to make sure, everybody's aware of kind of what each of these characters does, I'm going to go through these characters real quickly, kind of show what kind of skills they start with in blue and what they're going to, potentially go up to and what they can hold in their body slots. So, let's go ahead and look closer at the survivors. First we have here is Gilbert. I'm going to be starting him with the hammer. He starts with Ironhide. For those who don't know, basically means he has a little bit of armor, even without a piece of equipment that has armor. And if he does end up wearing armor, it's going to make his armor a little bit better. That's what he gets in blue. And for orange, he's going to have Bloodlust Melee or Hit and Run. Both are pretty good abilities. Bloodlust lets him move and attack. Hit and Run lets him attack and then move. So, and it's unlikely we're going to get to red, so I'm not going to be too concerned about red abilities. So, next we have Beauregard in green. I've started him with the short bow, primarily because all of his abilities, if you kind of look up there, are combat oriented. So it's not just melee, whereas a lot of other people are going to be more melee oriented. So and it's good to have some people starting off with some ranged. In blue, he starts with Collector Walker, which gives him doubles the experience points that he gets for killing walkers. So we're going to have to be very careful about him early on, not getting out of blue, not killing too many walkers. And then in orange, he gets a free combat action, which is always nice, and Reaper Combat, which is a good one too. It means he kills one extra of a type that he kills each attack. Again, that's killing more though, so we need to be careful about him getting into too high a threat level. And he can hold a shield in his body slot. All right, in orange we have Montalban. He is going to start with the short sword. His blue ability is Hit and Run. As we said, as long as Hit and Run means as long as he kills a zombie, he then gets a free move out of his zone, and he can ignore any other zombies that may still be remaining in that zone. So that's always very nice to get out of sticky situations. In orange, he gets a free move action or a free melee action, both of which can be very useful. So he's going to be a good all-around character, and he can hold a shield in his body slot as well. And here we have the King, Mortimer, who has a greatsword in his body slot. As you can see, in his body slot, he can hold a greatsword. And his blue ability starts him with a greatsword, so that's where that's going to go. And then in orange, he gets a free combat action and Born Leader. Born Leader would allow him to give a free action or one additional action to any character, any other survivor during his turn. It doesn't use up one of his actions. It's just one free action that another survivor can take, which is pretty nice. And then Red, he's got a couple good abilities. Again, I don't think we're gonna get to Red in this quest, but if he does have the +1 damage melee, +1 dice roll combat, and charge, which are all nice. And here we have kind of sort of the dedicated spellcaster of the group. We have Bob the Enchanter. You can see he can hold a transmutation spell in his body slot. I started him with Mana Blast, not necessarily necessary for him, but he starts in blue with Lucky, which lets him re-roll all dice on an attack. In orange, he gets a free magic action, so that's an action to attack with a spell like Mana Blast, combat spells. And he also has the option for a hit and run. And then you can see in red, he gets Spellcaster and +1 to dice roll magic, and Rotten as well. Again, we're not probably getting into red, but just sort of for future reference, that he does have a few more magic-oriented abilities to give him free actions and stuff for magic for the combat spells. So that's kind of why he's going with the Mana Blast. And we have one more character. Last but not least is Chauncy, although he kind of is least amongst the Knights of the Round. We're starting him with a short sword. He can hold a bastard sword in his body slot, which is interesting. And he has the Sword Master ability in blue. And I've made it no secret that I am not a fan of the Sword Master skill. Right now, there are currently, in the game, there are only 2 weapons that can benefit from the Sword Master skill. And there are 2 weapons, 2 cards for each of those weapons. So there's a Great Sword and a Bastard Sword. Pretty much every other melee weapon is already dual wieldable. Or there are not 2 of the same name. And so it means Swordmaster, especially in blue, is going to be pretty useless. All the starting melee weapons, the short swords and the hammers, they are all dual wieldable. If you get daggers, they're dual wieldable. So now the good news is the group does start with one of the 2 great swords. Mortimer has it. Of course, the downside is Mortimer can hold the great sword in his body slot. Chauncey's really kind of designed for the bastard sword, because hence he's got it in his body slot. So Swordmaster currently as it stands, I think needs some tweaking, but we will play with it the way it is so far. And down the road, I may house rule and make it a little bit more useful. But for the meantime, we'll go with it the way the rules say it. And that is the last. Oh, and Chauncy has a +1 to dice roll melee, which is very nice in orange, and Frenzy melee, which is going to be situationally useful. Basically, he gets an extra die for each wound that he has. Obviously, you can only take 2 wounds. 3rd wound will kill you. So, if he wants to run around wounded, he'll get some extra dice in melee combat. Again, situationally, he would need to get into a situation where he does get wounded and then remains wounded without dying. So. That is all 6 of the Knights of the Round that we are going to be adventuring with throughout this series, and most likely that this is the exact same order of play and starting equipment that I will start with them for each of the quests. So now we should get to the quest itself. Here is the setup for quest number 1, entitled Big Game Hunting. Easy 6+ survivors. We've got 6 stalwart knights, 5 knights and 1 enchanter. We quickly discovered the starting point of the zombie invasion. Other survivors spotted a huge zombie wandering the streets, and some kind of sick wizard directing the horde to engulf us.
It took us 2 days to pinpoint the necromancer's location and understand the abomination can't be killed by any weapon at our disposal. Let's raid the necromancer's laboratory and take them both out with a secret brew of our own. Dragon fire. Let the hunt begin. So the objectives, 2 objectives are slay the beast and its master, so we need to kill at least 1 abomination and 1 necromancer. And we need to raid the laboratory, which is take all objectives. So for the setup, we've got a blue objective randomly amongst the red objectives, and there are, I think, seven objectives. So we've got 1 in the corner here, 1 up there, 2 here, and then 3 here on the bottom. And there's a vault artifact in each of those. So there's a blue location, blue objective. We find the blue objective. That is the laboratory, the necromancer's laboratory. We immediately spawn a necromancer there. If there's already a necromancer on the board at the time, you spawn an abomination there instead. If both are already on the board, nothing happens. Okay, so pretty simple take all objectives. That's obviously going to level us up with there being 7 objectives and 5 experience points each. We also have to kill at least 1 abomination and 1 necromancer, which should be an issue. They should spawn pretty quickly. So things to keep in mind on this board. There's actually, I guess there isn't a wall. I was going to say there was a wall. I think it looks on the map in the book like there's a wall here on one of those, but there isn't. So these are actually all open. So this is one big building. This is not a building, and then that. This is all one big building. Yep. And of course, one big building. This is all one big room. So that's going to be something a little bit different from the regular Zombicide. There really aren't too many large rooms, but this. You see, this is one room here as well, but this thing that takes up half this tile is one big room, and that's one big room. Bunch of little rooms in here with one kind of larger room in the middle there. Okay, so our goal will be to, I think, definitely we want to open this building first as quickly as we can, since that has the most number of rooms. We will definitely want to do that while we are in blue. The question's going to be, how do we want to exactly do that? Yeah, I guess it doesn't make a huge difference. Isn't going to be too, hopefully not too rough a game. We do have the 2 vaults. So again, we're starting with Gilbert here, blue, and then Beauregard in green, then Montalban in orange, Mortimer in yellow, Bob in purple, and last for the first round, but this is the order we're kind of going, Chauncy in red. We'll have to see. Chauncy's going to be a little bit of a wimp with his blue ability being Swordmaster. I'm not going to house rule it yet. We'll see how it goes. We do have Mortimer starting with a greatsword. So if we find a second greatsword, we can have Chauncy dual wield the greatswords. It does mean Mortimer's starts with a greatsword was less than necessarily effective, but I mean, it would help a little, I guess. And that is the issue with the starting with a weapon is kind of in blue is kind of because usually you're trying to get better weapons, and usually you can. And then we have to be careful because green Beauregard has hit and run, or has a collector, which means for walkers, which means he gets 2 experience points per walker, and that will could become problematic for him out-leveling people. So we have to be careful of that. We may want to have him one of the ones to try not to take an objective early on. But he also has the bow for some support. Mostly I gave him the bow because, as I mentioned in the intro, his abilities are combat, and that kind of gives him bonus. And I didn't want everybody with melee, and holding out with short swords and things like that. So let us go. Let us start then with Gilbert. So I guess the plan is, well, we want to go here, but we can also prepare for, we can't open it this turn. We won't be able to open it next turn because next turn, well, we will be able to open it next turn, but Beauregard won't be able to go open it because he's got the bow. So why don't we open this one and then have everybody else move there. And that allows Beauregard this turn, if there's something in here, he can kill it. So let's go with Gilbert. He's going to go 1. He's going to attempt to open the door. A 5 will succeed. So you bash the door in. And as my friends like to do it, we're going to turn it in the direction of the bash, because that makes thematic sense. Boom. And what do we have in there? We have a necromancer in there. Okay. That's an interesting start to this. Anyway, so we throw a necromancer spawn point in there. And we throw a necromancer in there. So now we need to spawn for that point, the necromancer point, which gives us, ouch, 2 wolves. Well, that's kind of, that's hold up everybody. We have a bunch of stuff that we have to kill before they kill us. Necromancer and 2 wolves are in that room. He has 1 action left, but he's not going to do, actually I guess he can go ahead and he'll move. Let's trust that between Beauregard and Bob, with their ranged attacks, they'll be able to kill them. And theoretically, Chauncy, going last, might be able to move in, get 1 swing at the necromancer. So we don't need Gilbert's Ironhide. So we're going to go like that. So we'll start with Beauregard here, Beauregard is number 2nd, so he's going to come here, move 1, he's going to take a shot. With the short bow, 1 die hitting on 3s, there's a 6, so that will kill 1. And the next shot is a miss. Okay, well that does give him 1 experience point. The important thing is to get rid of the wolves. We can leave the necromancer for 1 turn if necessary. Alright, so Montalban. Orange here. He's just going to go 1, 2, 3. Be prepared to open the door next turn. Mortimer will kind of do the same thing. 1, 2, unless I want to come here and consider opening this door as well next turn. Will give us a bunch of zombies, but we'll get these rooms opened in blue. You know what? Let's go ahead and go. Now let's go here. We'll let Chauncy decide if he wants to do that. All right. So Bob's gonna step forward for 1. He's gonna take a blast with his mana blast. Use a nice purple die for that. A 6 will hit and make a noise. Okay. And kill the wolves. Now I should mention ranged attacks. I don't get to choose, but the necromancers always get hit last, so that's why the wolves are getting hit. If there are walkers in there, they would get hit first, and so on through that order I mentioned last time I played. But in the targeting priority order for ranged attacks, Necromancers are going to be dead last always, so anything before them will get hit first, which is wolves, even though the wolves are pretty far towards the end. So that gives Bob 1 experience, and then he's got 1 left. So he's going to take a pot shot at the Necromancer. See if we can kill that Necromancer. Take a look. It is a 5. Okay, so that is a successful kill. So that kills the Necromancer. Now, it gives Bob 1. So now, when you kill a Necromancer, so I'll mention, I don't know if I mentioned this, so Necromancers, when they spawn, they have a spawn point wherever they spawn. So if he would come on through one of the normal spawn points, there would be, this token would be there, and so on. And as you saw, it spawned another card immediately, or in the spawn, I should say. It adds another spawn point to the spawn process, since we're spawning rooms. After all the regular rooms had been spawned, the Necromancer spawn would get a card, which it did, which brought on the wolves. Now, when we kill a Necromancer, you get to pull a spawn point off. It doesn't have to be the Necromancer one. If I could leave this here, it becomes a normal one, and I can remove one of the others. In that way, it's kind of a tactical decision where you can kind of concentrate spawns away from a certain area or into a certain area. It could be, if we got rid of this spawn, there really isn't anything spawning over here, and we might need that, and things like that. At this point, I think I just want to take this one off, the one that he brought. I don't think I really want to have that spawn there. And then let us, so that was it for, and he cast a spell a second time, added more noise. That doesn't make a huge difference this turn, because there are no zombies left on the board to move, but could be useful, and it's good practice to get into. All right, and the last we have here this turn is Chauncy in red. Where does he want to go? He could go 1, 2, and then search. Generally, searching as the last character, last survivor, using your last action is a bad idea. There are zombies in the search deck, and that would be a wound, although it's not a horrible thing, and getting searching early is good. He could pick up the axe, which would get him 5 experience points, would start us in the process that way. The question being, if it's the blue one, then it spawns a Necromancer there in with him, and then the Necromancer would attack him and he would take a wound. So again, as the last action, that may not necessarily be a great idea. He could come in here and open that door. Or I can come here, so that was 1, 2, 3. I could come here in preparation for opening that door. I could come, or he could go here with them to help them out. That would leave really Gilbert as the one to come open that door. 1, 2, he gets 1 shot at opening that door. There's a spawn point there too, which we do have to keep in mind. But we do have both our ranged folks here. I think concentrating them in here, we may need to pile in there next turn. So let's go with that. We have a little bit of time before we risk getting out of blue to open those doors. Someone will need to come back for those. All right, so that is all the players' turn. So now it's the zombies' turn. And now we need to spawn. We have 3 spawn points. We need to kind of choose an order here, and we're going to follow that order every time. So let's go ahead and start here with the one closest to the camera, and then we'll go in clockwise order, like that. So the one close here gets 3 walkers in blue. Wow, we're getting all the heavy draws right now. There are a fair number, I should say, in blue that are nothing spawns here. So it's kind of crazy that we had Necromancer, we had the wolves, 2 wolves, and we had 3 walkers there. Alright, so up there in the top is a double spawn, which means nothing spawns there. It means we're going to draw 2 cards for the 3rd spawn, which is an abomination, but nothing is in sight. And the 2nd card is 3 wolves. Jeez, man, the poor knights. They may need to wait to open that door to deal with these wolves that are going to be on them at the start of the next turn, because they are too far away for them to do anything. So the noise token so then the cleanup and the noise tokens go away. All right, so first player is going to pass to Beauregard. Now the downside is we have to be careful of Beauregard here. These are walkers, which means if he kills any of them, he's going to get 2 experience for each one he kills. So he needs to be very careful about killing these guys, too many of those guys. He's at 1 experience, which means that he can only kill 2 of the 3. If he kills 2 of the 3, that puts him right at 5 experience points, and if he kills a 3rd one, that would put him into yellow, which we definitely don't want to do, at least until we have opened up this building. But we do have a couple turns before they will do anything. Because they are just going to move kind of slowly this way. So what do we want to do? You know what? I think he's going to move in. He's going to search. I think we want some stuff. We'll let these guys go. They're going to come, but it'll take them a couple turns to come this way. And let's try to get some equipment since we got like wolves and stuff. All right. So first thing is we've got torch. So that's a good start, and that will let him search a little bit better. So that was 1 to move in, 2 to search, 3. He's going to move back out. Alright, so now we have Montalban in orange. So, do we risk opening this, knowing that these wolves are going to go move 3, so they're going to go 1, 2, 3. They're going to be in here with them. So we don't really want to move any of them, because we need to keep them all there to deal with the wolves. Definitely don't want to get closer or they'll get attacked. But it would be good to get this door open. We do have... you know, they do have 3 actions. I don't want to waste the whole turn. So maybe we do want people to kind of pop in there. Alright, so Montalban will try to open the door. What the heck. So, bashing at the door, a 3 will miss, or fail I should say. So 1, there's another 3, 2, and a 1. So 3. So he fails to open the door anyway. So now we go to Mortimer with his greatsword. Okay, so greatsword, opening the door, he has 5 dice, but he only opens on a 5 or better. But he has 5 dice for it, so he'll go ahead and try to bash open the door. Again, I don't know that I want to move anywhere, but might as well spawn that while we still have a chance. Okay, so there it makes another noise. I did get 1 5, so we are going to bash this door open. And then spawn. So let's go ahead and let's spawn from the back, kind of towards the front. So we'll start here. So there is a nothing in sight. Remember, we're still in blue, so nothing there. The next one is 1 walker. And one way you can do these if it makes a big difference. Some people like to jump around for where they're spawning things. Is you can put the cards as you draw them into the rooms. That can help you keep track. of where you're currently spawning. All right, let's do the corner one with the vault. Has a nothing. All right, this big one has a double spawn. Next one's going to be here, so two cards for there, which is a fatty and a double spawn. So let's put the one fatty there. The double spawn makes it so it's the next room, which is here. Gets 2 cards, which is a necromancer and another double spawn. So we'll put the necromancer spawn here and Mr. Necromancer. Okay. And then we're not spawning this one yet. This happens at the end of the building. Basically, you do spawns sort of oldest to newest. So we get 2 cards here because that was a double spawn. So there is a no one in blue. Second card for that room are 2 walkers. Alright. Now we have 2 rooms left and then the necromancer spawn. So we have 1 walker right in front of us. And 1 fatty, which is going to be a little problematic, although it's better than getting a runner or a wolves. Alright, and then back to the necromancer spawn is 1 fatty. Okay. Well, Gilbert's is the only one with a hammer. And that's the only weapon right now that can kill the fatties. And there are a number of them. Well, that was 1 action for Mortimer. He has the greatsword. Unfortunately, 1 action, he can step in, swing, but then he's stuck here. He can't kill the fatty. The fatty's going to be there next turn. So I don't know that it's worth it for him to do anything. You know what? He's going to, although we got the 3 wolves, and we'll have 3 wolves in him, I think what he's going to do is he's actually going to take on these walkers. So that was 1, 2, 3. They're going to come in with him. He's going to be good because we need Gilbert to come because there are fat zombies here in the building, and he's got the weapon that can kill them. So he needs to kind of get into that building. He's got the greatsword. He should be able to take those guys out. Hopefully no problem. If nothing else, he may have some backup from some other people here. Alright, so now we're on to Bob. So what I think Bob's going to do is I think we need to get some searching on. So he's going to do 1 to trade. We're going to take the torch from Beauregard to Bob, because the torch lets him draw 2 cards when searching. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He's going to search. Now this could be dangerous, but we'll have to see. We've got a plenty of bolts and a plenty of arrows. Well, so the plenty of arrows, I mean, those are both good cards for when you get stuff. Plenty of arrows would be good for Beauregard. Alright, so now we start with, that was what, 1, 2, 3, right? That was his 3rd one. So, we're going to start with Chauncy now. So Chauncy could conceivably step in, kill, step back, but he's got a 50% chance of killing him. If he doesn't kill him, then he's stuck there. So, but we do have the wolves coming. So I think we need to, as much as I hate to say it, I think we need to just stay here and wait for those wolves. And I hate wasting actions, but there isn't a lot we can do. And the other option is he could run back here to try to help search. But I think we need to concentrate. We're going to have 3 wolves and 1 guy there. We need more people more people to help here. Because we got only things with 1 dice other than him. So killing 4 things is going to be a little bit of a pain, considering you only hit 50% of the time. So he's actually not gonna. Chauncy's just gonna stay there and not do anything. Montalban goes first though, so I think what I'm actually gonna do, since he's not doing that, I'm actually gonna do this. Montalban has a short sword, and so does Chauncy. Chauncy is gonna spend an action to give Montalban his second short sword. They can be dual wielded because they have the icon in the upper left corner that has a little dual wields across swords. Okay, so that means 2 dice because he gets to add the dice, of each sword. Okay, and Montalban actually goes first. Not only goes before Chauncy, he goes first. And we're going to have the 3 wolves. These 2 guys are here together. So Montalban will be able to kill. them. And I do have to remember Montalban has hit and run, which means if he kills somebody, he can move. Now he doesn't necessarily want to do that while he has Chauncy's weapon, unfortunately. But it's something to keep in mind. But that will let him hopefully kill some of the wolves, rolling 2 dice, and then he can transfer the weapons over to Chauncy as needed. All right, so Chauncy, that was Chauncy's turn. So we are to Gilbert, who is the last person, who is just going to step forward here in preparation for moving into this room to beat up those guys. He could go 1, 2, get 1 swing. Again, it's 1 swing, 50% chance. He does have Ironhide, but that's only a 6+ save. I don't think it's worth taking the risk, taking the wounds. Next turn, he'll just hop in there and try to kill the fatty that's in there. So let's go with that. So that was everybody that moved. So now the zombies get to go. So these 3 will move in here. Boom. That zombie will move there. They will move there. These guys are going to move here. Okay. Now the closest, so the necromancer is going to try to go to the closest exit that he can get to. So the closest normally would be here, but he can't go through the doors. Luckily, so his closest is either here or still might be here. I think it's here though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and off, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and off. All right, so that's the same distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's not going to be far enough or too far. So we kind of get to choose once he gets to this point. Once he gets here. We kind of get to choose whether he's going to go that way or that way. We'll probably send him this way if he even gets that far. All right. And then last but not least, the wolves go 3 here into the group of our heroes. Boo hiss. All right. Well, that was all the movement. All the activations for the zombies. So let's spawn. So again, we're going to spawn same order. So we'll spawn there. 1 wolf. That is not a good place for a wolf. Right next to you. Right next to the guys. This has been a very rough game so far. Okay, up there. 1 walker. Okay, and over there, 2 NPCs. Grab 2 random NPCs. Headless man. And the... looks like... what's her name from Aladdin? Jasmine. Okay. Alright, first the noise tokens come off. First player token moves to Montalban. Alright, so Montalban's going to attack. See what we can do here. against these wolves. Gets one hit, so he will kill one. That was action one. He could hit and run, but he's not going to. So let's attack again. 4+, that will miss. Third action, he will swing again. Kills one. Okay, spreading the love. Okay, now it goes to Mortimer with the greatsword. So he's got 5 dice, taking on those 3 zombies that are there. And he gets, so 1, 2, because he hits on 5, so he kills 2 with the first swing, which is good. Second swing, kills 4. Unfortunately, there's only 1 there. Alright, so he has 1 action left. Is he back up? No, because I think we still want to try to keep that door open. I guess he's just going to stay there. I don't want to necessarily step forward here, because that's a spawn point. And conceivably I'm going to have Beauregard step 1, 2, and take a shot and try to kill the wolf. So I don't think I want to do anything. I don't want to step him in, otherwise there's a chance that Beauregard can hit him. So let's not do that. So he's just going to waste that action. He could make a noise. I don't really care. So let's go to Bob. So Bob, I think Bob wants to search, move, give the arrows to Beauregard, and conceivably if we get another weapon, that will be useful. So he's going to search. He's got the torch, and we get 2 magic weapons. We have the Dragonfire Blade and the Chaos Longbow, both of which are only usable in orange. So there are weapons to give. So he's got the Chaos Longbow and the Dragonfire Blade to give to somebody. It is a 2 damage weapon once somebody gets into orange, but they have to get into orange. Oops, sorry, that was Bob though. So that was 1, 2, and then 3. So we are going to give the Plenty of Arrows and the Chaos Longbow to Beauregard. We'll keep the Dragonfire Blade because I think Bob has a better chance of getting over that way and being able to trade with somebody. Although I may have Bob. Bob has 2. Yeah, if I pick up anybody except for Gilbert. If anybody except for Gilbert, well, I guess Chauncy too. Chauncy hasn't had a chance to kill stuff, but if he kills the 2 stuff in there, Gilbert's the only one who hasn't killed anything, and he's the only one who can afford to pick up an axe without getting us into yellow. It's a delicate balance, and you know, I've just found that trying to open as many rooms in blue before you get to yellow is a good idea. Although we've had almost nothing spawn cards, meaning this has been pretty hot and heavy from the start. But that was it for Bob. So let's go to Chauncy. So the first action of Chauncy is going to take both the short swords from Montalban. And then he will attack for his second action. 2 dice hitting on 4. Kills 1, so good. At least we get rid of the wolf. And his second action here, he misses. Alright, well that's going to leave somebody for Gilbert to kill. I guess we're just kind of hanging out. We're making a stand out here in the hall. It is now Gilbert's turn, Gilbert being blue. So he will try to fight that one that's there. He's got 1 die because he's got the hammer. 1 die hitting on 4. So there's a miss. There's a 5. So that kills her. Gives Gilbert 1 experience point. And then Gilbert has 1 extra experience point, which I guess he's not going to... Gilbert's got 1 extra action, which, I mean, he could use to trade with Chauncy. To give Chauncy the hammer. I don't know if it's worthwhile or not. Chauncy goes before he does. Sure, let's do that. We'll trade. So we can give the hammer to Chauncy, and he's going to take the 2 short swords. For the moment, anyway, we really need to get some more weapons. We really need to search. So it may be worthwhile having somebody pull back. Although once we clear out that building, we'll be able to go in there and deal with it. But we are on to Beauregard. So Beauregard is going to go 1, 2, and take a shot at the wolves. And 3+8 with the short bow and rerolls because he has the Plenty of Arrows card. Plenty of Arrows says reroll, but you have to reroll all of them. So, of course, he's only got 1 die. So, but if you got one that say has 3 dice, you have to reroll all 3, even if you have 2 hits or 1 hit. You reroll all 3, including the hit. So sometimes it becomes a choice. A 2 that will miss. So let's reroll that. This could be very, very bad. 6. All right. If he had missed again, that wolf would have done 2 wounds. So 1 wound to each of them, or 2 wounds to one of them. That would have been rough. But that is the end of the order. So it is now the zombies' turns. So let's back our heroes up here as these zombies compiling out of the building, and we're like, oh crap, there's a lot of stuff in there. All right, these zombies move that way, and they were gone. So now we need to spawn. So let's spawn again, same order. We'll spawn there. 1 runner. That is better than a wolf, but not by a lot. Again, I'm not sure what's up with this blue spawning. Just has not been going very well. Up there at the top, oh, we forgot to move this. That zombie. There was 1 zombie up there. All right, so 1 more runner up there. And the 3rd one is a nothing, because that would have been an abomination. All right. First player marker moves to Mortimer, who will step forward. He will attack. So 5 dice hitting on 5s. Pull it up here. Got 1 hit. That's all he needed. So we kill that runner. That gives him 1 more experience point. Puts him up to 4. He's going to open that door. He and Beauregard are going to try to deal with that for his 3rd action. Does mean he's spawning there. Or he's staying there. Which is unfortunate. But, what can you do? At least he does have a 3+ to hit with rerolls. So he might be able to still shoot in there and keep that. But he fails to open the door, which is unfortunate. Okay. So now it goes to Bob the Enchanter. Well, Bob, there really actually, unfortunately, isn't much that Bob can do. He can't shoot into the zone with these guys. If he moves in here, he can't kill the fatty and he can't kill the necromancer because his ranged attacks Again, priority order, the Necromancer is going to get hit last, so it means it's going to hit the fatty, which is 1 damage Mana Blast, won't do anything. I guess that means he ducks back in and searches. I don't want to grab the X yet, and he has nothing that can open the door, so he can't open that door either to be able to help. So 1 to move in, 2 to search, and he finds an axe and leather armor. Okay, neither one of those is too bad. We do need another melee weapon, simply so then we can have somebody dual wielding the short swords. And the axe doesn't need to roll to open doors, so that actually might be worthwhile. I'm going to equip I'm going to have Bob for now equip the axe and the torch, because that does mean then that Bob can open this door and he can open the door to the vault, which actually might not be a bad idea for him to go into the vault and pick up the vault weapon, which is going to be a really good weapon, either a spell or a ranged weapon, unfortunately, or it could be the one shield. Fortunately, I don't have any melee vault weapons, so that is a downside. From what I gather, NPC box 2, which I picked up box 1, I did not pick up box 2, didn't think about it, but apparently that has, I think, 1 vault melee weapon. Speaking of which, searched, he's got 1 left, so you know what, let's go ahead and simply open up that. He doesn't have I could open this door, the challenge being he won't be able to help per se. Well, he might be able to, if absolutely necessary, he could jump in and take some swings with the axe. Yeah, let's wait. He'll open this door. To help if he really can, if he really needs to. Because we don't know what's necessarily going to spawn there. Alright, that was Bob. So now let's go to Chauncy. So Chauncey's got the hammer. Chauncy, with the hammer, is going to swing and hopefully kill that fat guy. A 6. 6 will succeed. So, yes, Chauncy kills him for 1. He will go ahead and you know what? Because the fat guy's in the other room, let's do this. 2, he's going to trade with Gilbert. Since the fat one in here's done, he's going to trade for the 2 short swords again. Because if I can kill these 2, that means Gilbert can step in and take a couple swings at that fat guy. So 2 to trade, 3 to take some swings at these guys, and hopefully that's going to work. If not, I mean, we can get Montalban the hammer as well to try to come in and kill the fat guy. So 4 and a 5, that will kill both of them. Excellent. So that's 2 more experience for Chauncy, puts him up to 4. And it is now Gilbert's turn. So Gilbert has the hammer, so he's going to go ahead. Let's step in 1. And then he gets 2 attacks to try to kill the fat one. 3 will miss, and a 4 will hit. And that gets him 1 experience point. Alright, so we are now on wait, did I? Oh no, Mortimer went first and killed the guy. I was like, wait a minute, it seemed like we were out of things to do. But that's right. Mortimer went first. Hold on. Okay, I did forget one thing. Not a huge difference. I forgot to spawn at the Necromancer spawn, which is 1 walker. I know it's a little out of order, but it's just there. Okay. So Gilbert went in and killed the fat guy, so it is now Beauregard's turn. The question is, what does he want to do? He could step in and take the greatsword and try to open the door. He could step in here and search, but that would be his third action, and they have all gone. Yeah, let's do that. Simply because I want to try to get this open. Let's see what happens. So we're going to go 1, 2 to trade with Mortimer. So I'm going to take the greatsword from Mortimer. I'm going to give Mortimer, just in case, I'm going to give him the short bow and the plenty of arrows for the moment. So that way Mortimer's not, and they're equally good. Yeah, you know, I got to remember that Bob is lucky, so he gets rerolls. And then he gets 1 shot at opening the door. Let's try to get that door open, see what we're spawning in there. Alright, got 2 6s, so that succeeds. So that bashes that door open. Blam. Let's put another noise down there. Alright, let's spawn. Let's spawn the close one and then the far one. So the close one says 2 NPCs. Okay, and then the far one is the Minotaur, so nothing there. Okay, so they will have some zombies on them, but they do have the greatsword. They're actually in decent shape between the 2 of them anyway. And then it is to Montalban right now, who has no weapons. So he's going to take the 2 short swords from Chauncy, who's red. 2, he's going to step in. And 3, he's going to take 1 swing at the Necromancer. So 2 dice, hitting on 4s. Try to kill that Necromancer, and he gets a 5. So good. So that succeeds, kills the Necromancer. I think we will go ahead and remove this spawn that's in the building there, because that's just annoying. And that gives Montalban 1 more experience. Okay. And that is everybody. So, zombies move. So these 2 come out here. These guys are going to come down here. These guys are going to come here. He's going to go 1, 2. Alright. And then we can draw for spawning. So we're here on top of them is 1 walker. That's not too horrible, especially considering how I've been drawing. Let's go up top. Abomination, so another nothing. And over on the right, 1 NPC. Okay, and that is the none NPC. Lots of NPCs coming through over there. And we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have 5 different NPC types. As I said, I've been pulling randomly, so but that is 5 different NPC types. If one person can manage to get all of them, which is unlikely considering how spaced out they are. All right, noise tokens can go away. Not that we made a lot of noise, but there was some noise. Move him back there. Okay, and a first player token moves to Bob. Bob. All right, I think they're okay. Do I want to search, or do I go in, grab the vault weapon, and get out? Let's go in, grab the vault weapon, and get out. So let's go, and then he can search on his way up. So 1 to open that up. 2 to come down into purple, 3 to grab it, which is the orcish bow. So very nice. We don't need to open the doors right now, so I think he's going to put the axe away. He's going to keep that orcish bow in hand to use for right now. You can give the axe to somebody later. That was his 3, and then I think he's going to come up and he's going to grab this. We're going to go into yellow any moment now. We've only got 1 building left to open. It's 2 rooms, but we can deal with that in a little bit. I think it's about time to start grabbing X's and getting everybody into yellow and get that 4th action. So we start with Chauncy there with red. Now, he has no weapons. There is 1 fat guy, so he's going to grab the hammer from Gilbert, who's blue, who's in with him. And then he'll get 2 swings. So first swing is a 6. Is that on the... you guys do see it? Okay. So there's a 6, so that will kill him. Excellent. And that puts him up to 5 experience points. 1, you know what? He will go ahead and search. 1 to trade, 2. He'll go ahead and search. And he finds a crossbow. Not bad. He can certainly use that. Now he can kill fatties from a range. At the moment, anyway. And then we start at Gilbert there. So, Gilbert. He'll go ahead and search. Unfortunately, he has no weapons right now. He just traded off to Chauncy, but maybe we'll find one. Search. Hopefully it's not a zombie. It is a fireball spell. Okay. Well, again, you don't have to be a real spellcaster to be able to use them. There are 2 zombies next to them, so he'll go ahead and shoot or use the fireball spell. That is 3 dice hitting on 4s. So this is his 2nd action. 5, 5, 4 will do it. So that kills 2. Gives him 2 points of experience. So he's up to 4. So now the question is, we got some X's. Who's the lowest? So Beauregard's low, so he'll probably want to pick up an X. Bob will pick up an X. Everybody else is up pretty high. And these 3 can each pick up one of those 3 X's. Well, I guess we're all pretty even. I don't want to pick up an X yet. But he searched, he shot, he has 1 more action. So let's... do I want to trade with Chauncy? No, I don't know. It'd be good to get the leather armor from Bob, but Bob's way over there. So I guess I'm not going to worry too much about it. You know, their weapons just, you know, are not being conducive. We need to kind of work our way. Actually, Bob can come out this direction. Somebody needs to get over here to get that. Let's go ahead and we'll start with Gilbert. Might as well work his way over to try to pick up that X. And I think what we'll do is we'll camp out in this building. We'll let these people run in, grab this stuff, and grab that, and then come up through there, and then we can come back this way. We'll have to see where the blue X is, because that will spawn the necromancer, and then it's a point of just waiting until we get an abomination to spawn. But hopefully, at that point we'll get something that can kill a fatty. We do have a torch, and we do have the chaos longbow. If we get into orange, could conceivably kill a fatty, but we don't have any 3 damage weapons or actual dragon fire yet. So that is it for Gilbert. Let's go with Beauregard. So Beauregard's there. He's got the greatsword, so he's going to go ahead and just hack and slash with the greatsword here. We do have to be careful. Oh, but each one that he kills is worth 2. That is going to suck. Well, actually, no. He's at 1 experience. So he actually can afford to kill 2 of them. So he kills 1. Boom. And that gives 2 experience. So now do I risk? No, I'm going to do this. Now he's going to trade the greatsword with Mortimer. And take the short bow and plenty of arrows back. 2, and then 3 he's going to shoot with the short bow. A 1 will miss. Gets his reroll for the arrows. A 3 will hit. And he's actually not going to take the experience for it. I forgot that we can he could not take the experience for them. Sure. That leaves just 1 guy for Mortimer to kill. So Montalban has 2. He's got the 2 short swords. Does he want to step forward? That door's shut. Does he want to step forward and get 2 swings? That's a little risky. You know what? Let's leave it. Let's step in. Let's search. We need to get some good weapons. We need some dragon bile. So longbow, not really his thing. 1, 2. He's a little bit farther behind than Chauncy, so 3. We'll move him here. He'll pick up that X next turn. And Mortimer. All right, so Mortimer here, yellow. See, he's got the greatsword again. So 5 dice. Hitting on 5s. Got 2, 3. So 5, 5, and a 6. That's enough to kill him. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and we'll put him on his track. So NPCs. I don't remember if I mentioned that last time or not. NPCs are the white-colored walkers, essentially, the white-based walkers. There aren't very many models. Number of models per pose, per figure. So this is like a dwarf one. This is like some sort of like Snow White princess one. And there's basically like 4 figures per sculpt. And the basic premise is if you get 5, when you kill one, you can choose not to take the experience point for it, and then put it on by your card. And if you get 5 different sculpts, 5 different models, different sculpted figures of those NPCs and Notorious Plagues characters, then you can turn them in. So basically, 5 experience you're giving up to get a vault weapon. One of the vault weapon cards that is not currently in play, which is actually pretty powerful. The vault weapons are all pretty good, and they are 3 damage weapons. So I think I need to sort of start working towards that. So, but anyway, that was 1 for him, and we'll go 2, 3. He's going to come over here. He'll open this door. He'll grab that X. So I think next turn we're poised for everybody, or just about everybody, to go in yellow. I don't think Gilbert will get there because he'll go 1, 2, 3. He won't quite be able to pick that one up. 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3. He won't quite be able to pick that one up, but he'll be there for it. And then we'll start. And then we'll try to consolidate together wherever the necromancer is, wherever the laboratory is, and that will be the thing, I think. And then obviously we need to get to get ourselves into a position where we can fight an abomination. But that was Mortimer, who was the last player. We also need to get that leather armor that Bob has to Gilbert. So I think Bob's going to pop up here, grab that, and then he's going to head back through the purple vault, since Gilbert's going over that way. And that way Gilbert, who has Ironhide, will be able to make better use of that leather armor to give him a 4+ save. And he can give the fireball over to Bob, which is going to be useful. And take the orcish bow back or something. So, zombies move. So, 1, 2. Doesn't really matter where the noisiest is. I mean, the noisiest is here. They all kind of have to, they're in the streets, so they're all kind of funneling that way as it is. And then, so those were all the zombie movements. So now we spawn. So we're still in blue. We're going to spawn there. Wrong deck. I don't know what I was thinking. So still in blue, 1 walker. Up top, 1 NPC. And over on the right is 1 walker. Okay. It will start getting, it has slowed down, which is good, and it will start getting more hectic soon. Alright, so we are on to Chauncy, red. Okay. So, Chauncy, since we're going in to yellow, I think that is the plan. He's going to go 1, 2, he's going to pick it up. It is not the blue. But that does put him, gives him 5, so it puts him up to 10. So he's got 2 actions left. He's going to search. And he picks up the disintegrate spell, which theoretically could kill an abomination. It is 3 dice hitting on 5s. If you rolled 2 6s, he gets plus 1 damage per 6, so he could kill an abomination. And he has 1 action left. I think we're good. I think we're good here. We're just going to hang out here. These guys are going to move in here. He does have a crossbow to be able to shoot them. Or disintegrate. I think the crossbow is going to be better. Yeah, 2 dice hitting on 4s or 3 dice hitting on 5s. He doesn't need the extra damage. Alright, so we're good. Actually, he's going to give the hammer back to Gilbert. No, actually, if we're going to give Gilbert the orcish bow, he doesn't need to give the hammer back. Gilbert just doesn't need a 2 damage weapon right now. But that means Chauncy's kind of for right now, our fatty killer. He's got the hammer in one hand and a crossbow in the other, both 2 damage weapons. And that's all Chauncy's going to do. So Gilbert's simply moving. That was the plan. 1, 2, 3. I mean, he could search once. And searching is useful. But search 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you know what? Let's search before he moves. Let's search. Let's see what we can get him. It gets him an axe. Well, hey, that every little bit helps. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we have Beauregard. So he's got the short bow. 1 will miss. He gets reroll because of the arrows. A 3 will hit and will kill him. It gives him 2 experience. He's up to 5. 2, 3. He's going to pick this up. It is not the blue one. Does give him 5 experience. That puts him up to 10 as well. That gives them 1 extra action. It actually might not be bad for these guys to kind of together come out through the yellow vault and see what's in that other yellow vault. So let's go that way. And then they will come that way and meet up. So his 1 extra action there will go for that. Because I don't want him to search as his last action. That was 1 to attack. 2, 3, yeah, and then his 4th action. So it is now Montalban's turn. So Montalban will open. That is not the blue. Okay. That gets him his 5. That puts him up to 8. So he is in yellow. So that was 1. 2, he's going to search. The speed spell. So 1, 2, right? Yep, and then, you know what? He's actually going to... He'll equip the long bow, because conceivably he'll be able to shoot adjacent. And you know what? He's going to have the longbow and speed. And then he will use the speed. You know what? He doesn't need to use the speed, but he has ability. He has 2 actions left. 3, 4. We're gonna kind of regroup here, if we can. So we know like one of these places is going to be the blue. So we kind of need to regroup a bit. Mortimer. So Mortimer, we'll flip this over. It is not the blue. So that gets him 5, puts him up to 9. So 1. He's going to open this with his great sword. Succeeds. So 2. Might as well go down. 3. We'll take a look at it. 4. Ooh, it is the Dwarven Shield. So I have not actually used. But that will be really good. Makes him a very good utilitarian. He's got the shield, so he can defend against abominations. Yeah, and 4+. So, might also be good to try to get that to Gilbert, especially if we can get the leather armor on him, because then Gilbert could conceivably have, you know, his iron hide plus the leather armor plus the Dwarven Shield, but that's not here nor there. For right now, it's good to have somebody else who has a little bit of armor. And that was his 4. Right, 1, 2, yep, 3, 4. All right, so it is Bob's turn. So Bob was going to come out for 1. He's going to pick this up for 2. Oh, that is blue. And that gives him 5, so that puts him up to 7. Okay, so that is the blue one. So that immediately places a necromancer there. And of course, necromancers come with spawns. We already have a necromancer and a necromancer spawn there. How did we not know that was that was the laboratory? So 1, 2. He's got 2 actions left. Let's go ahead and you know what? Let's go ahead and kill the necromancer there. He's got the orcish bow. As a melee weapon, it's 2 dice hitting on 3s. So, his orcish bow. There you can see. So it's got 2 lines. Some of these cards are a little bit unusual. So it's a bow, but these orcish weapons have blades on them. So basically, they can be used as a melee weapon or as a ranged weapon. At range 0, it's a melee weapon, which is why it has a separate line. So it doesn't benefit from any ranged bonuses like free ranged combat action or +1 die ranged. Doesn't apply on the 0 line. And then it's ranged from 1 to 3. Okay, so it is, but otherwise they're exactly the same. 2 dice hitting on 3 or better and only doing 1 damage. So they can't kill fatties or abominations, but certainly good enough to kill necromancers. 2 dice hitting on 3s and it gets a 5 and a 6. Killed him with authority. Boom. And that gets him 1 more experience point. So it was 1, 2 to pick up, 3 to attack, 4. He has his last one. He's going to come back down because remember he wants to come out over there and give and trade with Gilbert next turn. All right, and Chauncy had gone first, so zombies get to go now. So now all we need to do at this point, because our objectives were kill at least one abomination and one necromancer and take all objectives. So we have to take this objective and that objective, and then we also have to kill an abomination. So we're getting there, and now that we're in yellow, we can start spawning abominations. So zombies move. So these guys. Now the question is most noise. We have 2 noise here. We have 2 noise here. So actually, the way the zombie rules work, and you know these are the kind of things that can be kind of tricky. So if they can see somebody, zombies are going to move towards the noisiest survivors that they can see, right? But if they can't see anybody, they're going to go towards the noisiest zone. Okay. All right. As long as there's an open path. If there's no open path, they go towards the closest door. All right. But so whichever zone on the board, and if their distance doesn't matter. If there is more than one route, the same length of zombies split into groups. They also split up if different target zones contain the same number of noise tokens. So what happens is, in this case, is these guys are going to split because there's 2 noise here and 2 noise here. They don't care about distance. So they're going to split like that. Move all these zombies. Move. Okay. So but that's basically how those work. And zombie movement rules can occasionally get tricky, especially with splitting. You know, if they're going towards, you know, from here, a place where there's like, especially buildings where there are rooms that don't necessarily have a real direct path. You may have a group of zombies, or even one zombie usually, that splits multiple times because each room has separate endpoints. So anyway, that is it for that. So now we need to spawn. We are spawning in yellow. Still only have the 3 spawn points though. Spawning yellow. So fatties get an extra action. We have no fatties, so that's a good thing. Over there we have 2 walkers in yellow. So 2 walkers go over here. And the 3rd spawn in yellow is a necromancer. So Mr. Necromancer comes over here. Boom. And then we draw a spawn card for that, since we're done with all the other spawn cards. And he comes with 1 runner. So we get one runner over here. Alright, now we can take the noise token off. Pass the first player marker back to Gilbert. So we had 1 full go around. So Gilbert's going to go 1, 2. We'll pick this up. I know that's not the blue one. That gives him 5. That puts him up to 9. Three, since he has an axe, we'll go ahead and open that door. Makes a noise. And 4, let's go ahead and search. See what we got. Ooh, we get Death Strike. So hey, it's another good spell to trade Bob, who's coming up. So now Bob will have a 2 damage weapon. Excellent. Alright, that was Gilbert. So it's now on to Beauregard here. Beauregard has nothing that can open a door. So he's going to start by searching. Ooh, and he gets a bastard sword. Hey, that's useful. That lets him open a door. So 1, 2, 3, he's going to try to open that door. Double 1s will not do it. Let's try it again. 2 and a 3 will still fail. So, because it's Bastard Sword, it's 2 dice hitting on 4s. So Beauregard's like, which end do I hold on to? How does this thing work? He's so used to using a bow.